All right, everybody. So welcome to another session, here with Vetter. We're going to go ahead and do another daily call today. So I'm going to go ahead and move my screen over to here. And we'll just go ahead and head back over to the home page real quick. So with that said, today is March 5th, 2022. My name is LDN100X. Dan on the calendar and in the Discord. So as far as today is concerned, as far as any updates, the last big update was just sharing that in terms of the gains, we've had a number of gains. Want to certainly credit KVetter, with the 51X, on the I believe it was Battle Inu project, but no major updates aside from that, as far as Vetter's concerned. So we're continuing to just move ahead, with marketing and, and the launch of the Launchpad. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and move into just talking about some projects, while we're on the call today. So as always, I'm going to go ahead and put it out there, to the audience that if you have a project that you'd like me to go ahead and spotlight and you're ready to go, just let me know. But if not, I certainly have some that I can go ahead and chat about while we navigate the call today. So at this time, anybody with a project they'd like to go ahead and talk about, let me know. But if not, I'm going to go ahead and proceed with what I've got prepared for this call. All right. So with that said, the first project I want to go ahead and take a look at, it is called Tipsy Coin. So this is one that I did go ahead and scout and vet. So they've got a launch coming up, on March 15th. No private sale, no pre-sale. So this is going to be a complete fair launch. So a pretty interesting project. I'm going to go ahead and open up so we can take a look at the at the website real quick. So we'll do that. So here we go. See a nice website. They've really done a lot to change, this website, since the initial time, when I had originally, found this project. I do rather like the updates that they've made to this website. So you can see here that they're talking about an open world metaverse where you can play to earn, customize, and explore. A couple of buttons, to buy Tipsy Coin and then join Discord. So they do have a pretty active Discord as well. But interestingly enough, they also have a Telegram as well. So we won't go ahead and move into the Discord, but yeah, just highlighting that they do have a very active Discord. So Tipsyverse, you can see, how a lot of this falls in line, with basically, their metaverse theme. So it says here, use Tipsy Coin in the Tipsyverse, an open world metaverse game. This is the new era where the physical and virtual worlds collide, giving birth to your own digital identity. Explore, socialize, and earn in the immersive dimension. And you can see they've got, some, not buttons, but indications or signals that it's going to be coming to Windows and Mac, iOS, and Android. So coming soon, obviously. And then they've got, it looks like a trailer here. I won't play it because typically whenever I play videos and we do these calls, there's always a lag for people on the other end, but certainly if you go ahead and you take a look at it, you'll see, what's going on there as far as the video is concerned. And we see here in 2022, we're coming out with Tipsyverse 1.0, Minecraft kind of theme, powered by Minecraft with NFT and blockchain interoperability. And then here in 2023, Tipsyverse 2.0, the alpha release, leveraging Unreal Engine 5. So, anything going on in the game space, Unreal Engine is really the talk of the town right now. So that's where you're getting the highest quality, rendering and graphics as far as games are concerned. So that's really where everybody's going right now for some really premium, looking quality games. So Tipsyverse here, and then they give you a button here in terms of how it's going to work. So click here, takes us to their tokenomics. We can see that they've got a max supply of 100 billion Tipsy. Some of the ingredients have evaporated, so there is a maximum finite supply. So they've listed here, and it's just a ton of it. So no more of it will ever be created. This is a hyper deflationary token. The available supply of Tipsy gradually decreases as Tipsy is burnt, from the sale tax proceeds. You can see that there is a buy-sell limit of 500 million of total supply per transaction. This is to help prevent thirsty whales from drinking up all the supply. So basically their anti-whale mechanism. We have a transaction limit of, looks like 500 million of total supply per transaction. And we see a little pie chart here that gives us another breakdown, of what's going on with the supply allocations. The 3% is going to charity, 7% is expanding to the central exchanges, 50% to the liquidity pool, team supply, which is going to be vested over a year, that's 10%, and then 5.5% to future development, and 4.8% to community engagement. And then obviously we know we need marketing. We need marketing to go ahead and move projects along, so without marketing, it kind of makes it difficult to innovate and continue to grow the project. So we've got 19.7% going to marketing. So, and then they give us, some additional information here, just specifying more in terms of what's going on with marketing, PR, advertising, celebrity endorsements, and partnerships. I personally, feel like, a lot of projects talk about marketing, so it's helpful to see a bit more in terms of details, as far as what's going to be going on, with marketing. So granted, celebrity endorsements, would be interesting to know exactly, what's going to go on here and what those partnerships are going to look like, but yeah, so it's nice to have those details. Future developments, so it looks like we've got some NFTs coming, games, metaverse, and R&D, and community engagement, giveaways, events, and parties. So always a nice thing to go ahead and see some aspects of a project, where they can engage the community, and everybody loves giveaways, so, and events and parties, we are all familiar with those. So we see some key features of Tipsy Coin, passive rewards. Tipsy is redistributed to all holders for passive income. See your balance of Tipsy Coin grow indefinitely, and the automatic buyback protocol to allow strategic buybacks from the market. This provides price stability during downward market trends or whale dumps, and burn. All buybacks are burned right away. This allows for Tipsy to increase in price every time a buyback is activated. So obviously, it kind of goes back to that buyback and burn. We're not buyback and burn, but the hyperdeflationary aspect of this project. So obviously, as more is burned, that increases the value of the holdings because you're basically decreasing the circulating supply. So we see here on transaction fees, there's no buy tax, which is pretty cool. But there is a 10% sell tax when you sell the native token. This is how the proceeds are going to be distributed from the sale tax. 4% is going to rewards to the existing holders, 4% to the buyback fund, the Tipsy Vault, and 2% sustainability, community, and future developments. So they give us some information here in regards to, enjoying the passive rewards. Holding the native token in your wallet is going to generate more Tipsy. Those rewards come from tax proceeds collected during sale transactions. So when any Tipsy holder sells Tipsy, they're going to have to pay a 10% tax. So we know that because we just went over that there's no buy tax, but there is a 10% sell tax. The feature has been coded into the contract to foster a strong and tight bond among community of Tipsy holders. Similarly, as there is no buy tax, Tipsy holders do not incur any taxes when buying Tipsy. So obviously that goes hand in hand, right? We encourage the purchase of Tipsy Coin. Humans should not buy too much Tipsy or they will get drunk. So I like that play, in terms of the Tipsy Coin and obviously, drinking too much. For Tipsy holders to enjoy the rewards, no actions required. Simply leave your Tipsy in your wallet and you're going to watch your portfolio grow concerning, how much Tipsy you hold. We understand that the no buy tax and 10% sell tax is an innovative feature, as most coins either implement a tax on both buy and sell, or they have no tax at all. And typically, when you're looking at projects that don't have any, tax at all, you see huge swings in terms of, buys and sells, because typically, at least in my own experience and what I've seen, is that it tends to invite more bots into those types of projects because there's no tax. So I believe, at least for me, this is the first project that I've seen where there's no buy tax, but there's a sell tax. So I don't know, maybe somebody else has seen another project do that. I haven't. The Tipsy coin mechanism is only possible with state-of-the-art coding and in-depth testing. All of our Penguin team designed this to discourage bots who have no emotions and oftentimes manipulate prices, discourage speculative and short-term trades to prevent dumping and to reward long-term Tipsy holders. Now, what I do like about this is that it seems like it's been, very intentional in terms of the design behind why they did this, and they've indicated that they've done testing, so that tells me that they have not just from a conceptual standpoint, but they've tried this out and they've seen some success. I mean, again, that's just me speculating on it, but just reading into what they have said here in this section. Unlike most other tokens, which mint more of their own tokens to reward holders, the rewards that Tipsy holders enjoy come from the tax proceeds collected. So Tipsy is created in the process. Not only is there a maximum amount of Tipsy, but the available supply of Tipsy will gradually decrease because of the buyback and burn mechanism, which again, I do believe is helpful. See a lot of projects that talk about being hyperdeflationary, but they'll go ahead and they'll burn like a ton right away, but the hyperdeflationary aspect of the token, they don't continue to be consistent in terms of that buyback and burn. So hoping that we're going to see something different with this particular project. Let's see here. So they go more into the buyback and burn protocol. Let's see, when is Tipsy Vault activated? Okay, so the Tipsy Vault is accumulating BNBs all the time. However, the buybacks happen strategically. So they can never tell you when the buybacks are going to happen, because obviously people are going to go ahead and take advantage of that. And you can always program bots, to go ahead and, get into that whole idea of or practice of price manipulation. So the BNB reserves in the vault are deployed at a specific moment to create stability during downward market trends or whale dumps. So this is also an automatic buyback feature that can be turned on and off, which I think is pretty cool. So basically, when they need it, and obviously when people are dumping the token, it will help to go ahead and protect, the price of the token. Let's see here. For example, we would leave this feature on during major market corrections. That makes sense. Because obviously when there's a correction, it means, that if they see, a lot of buys and the price comes down, they can help to go ahead and stabilize that. When the automatic buyback feature is activated, it will initiate Tipsy buybacks and burns. So obviously this is helpful for the project and helpful for the holders. Once the reserves in the vault reach a certain number of BNB, that is a figure that is synchronized according to market trends. When the auto buyback feature is turned off, the BNB reserves will continue to accumulate in the vault, and a manual buyback and burn can then be executed when necessary. So it seems like, the whole time, they're going to be monitoring when this, when they need to go ahead and use the vault. So when it's on, they'll go ahead and obviously use the BNB that's been collected to go ahead and, activate those buybacks. And then when they turn it off, the BNB can start to be collected again for when they're going to need to utilize that vault, which I think is a pretty nice aspect of this particular project. So they've got a commitment section here where they're saying that there's an anti-rug pull policy. The liquidity pool of 50% of Tipsy supply and corresponding paired BNB are locked for 5 years. A stronger security commitment compared to other projects, which I would be inclined to agree with that. Vested team allocation, the team's allocation of 10% is going to be vested over 12 months. So we saw that earlier. And the project is KYC compliant. So they do have a certificate stating, that they've been KYC, so they're here to stay, and community only. So with a team of experienced developers, extensive beta testing, and a mission to support charitable causes, Tipsy Coin redefines the industry standard. So they did go ahead and go after CertiK audits. I think when I updated this project, I think it was on March 1st, they were at 99% complete as far as the CertiK audit. And my understanding is that when I found this project, which was months ago, they had a commitment that they were going to have this done prior to launch. So it is really, really cool to see that they are staying in line with that commitment, because as we know, or if you've ever been in a project where they've talked about going ahead and getting a CertiK audit, CertiK audits take a long time to finish. They are obviously a top tier audit, but they do, you got to get them done early, because they do take quite a bit of time to get those audits completed. So I know I've said a lot. Does anybody have a question so far on this before I continue? Okay, and I see something in the chat. Okay, what's that, fam? Okay, got it. Let's see, we're going to continue on. So we see again, play to earn. I will say they have been updating their graphics, in terms of this web page and the penguins, and you can see that in the Discord. So they've done a really, really nice job, at least from my opinion. As far as what they've done with the penguins, they to me they look pretty good. So let's see here, play to earn, choose from various activities, receive gen and consumables for your participation. Man, okay, so gen, I wish I could explain this. It's somewhere on the website, and if we find it, it'll give us more of an explanation of what gen is, because gen is also associated with this token. I think it's the in-game currency. But yeah, as we go ahead and navigate this, I'm hoping that I will come across, across gen so that I can explain that a bit further. So let's see here, exploring and taking time off to have fun. So they add these here, sightseeing, immerse in the signals and sounds of Tipsyverse. Casual activities, gather your friends, for a ski trip, skydiving, session, or try your luck in the Grand Gen Casino. And then live events. So they've got that going on as well. They've got some, pretty cool partners, Illiquid Capital, Solanaverse, these two as well. Let's see here. So if we go ahead and we see what happens when we click here. All right. So yeah, it goes into, more of their partners, so bios and just some short information connected to them, with their website links. So yeah, there is that. And let's see here. So I think I wanted to go to the FAQ because I think that might be where I can find the gen. Let's see here. Where are you? All right. If anybody's, there it is. What is gen? There it is. Okay. So it says here, gen is a coin on the Polygon blockchain, and that will be the currency for Tipsyverse. So yes, it is the currency inside of the Tipsyverse. Gen is required to buy and sell in-game consumables and tools. These are not NFTs for character upgrades, to participate in tournaments, and for the breeding of companion penguin NFTs. So yeah, I thought I'd seen that before, but yes. So that kind of gives you a little bit more information, in regards to gen. But all right, so we're going to go back. Actually, I think I opened that another tab. All right, so let's see here, NFTs. So yeah, this is kind of what the NFTs are going to look like. So pretty cool stuff. And then we've got some more items coming soon, land coming soon, and all the NFTs are usable for Tipsyverse 1 and 2. So the Genesis penguins, like I said, I just think these guys look really, really great. The first 3,333 penguins that are entered, Tipsyverse, known as Genesis penguins, were blessed by the magic left behind the ancient civilization that's now extinct. Genesis penguins possess supernatural abilities and empower the human player that they choose to fight alongside, and there will never be more Genesis penguins. So this is the number as far as the Genesis penguins, and they're going to be launching next month. So you've also got some weapon NFTs, mount NFTs, the wearable NFTs. If you haven't heard of wearable NFTs, this is basically a new trend going on. I haven't seen a lot of projects talking about wearable NFTs. The first one that I heard talk about this was Galaxy Arena. And if you know anything about what's going on with the trading club, you know that we got into that project, but Galaxy Arena was the first project that I'd heard of wearable NFTs. So, and this would be the next one. And then I saw another project recently that did talk about wearable NFTs. So I think we're going to see more, in regards to NFTs, more projects talking about wearable NFTs. So you can buy and sell wearables, for your characters, in the Tipsyverse marketplace. Choose what best suits your playstyle or personality. The range includes headgear, upper and lower body gear, footwear, and various forms of accessories. So yeah, I like the fact that Tipsy is on the forefront of, what's really kind of new to this space, which are the wearable NFTs. As a matter of fact, even though I skipped, just skipped over this, the mount NFTs, I've actually never heard of this, but choose a range of vehicles to glide, through roads, skies, and seas. Certain vehicles open up access to a whole new world within Tipsyverse. So I think that is actually pretty cool. Not only are vehicles transport options, but you can pick a ride and race with other players across different terrains. So Tipsyverse to me, in this whole project is kind of like an upgraded Decentraland, kind of. I don't know if anybody would agree or disagree with me on that, but yeah, so I love everything they're doing, in regards to, just to talk about the Tipsyverse. And they've got, I think, some kind of connection, to Oculus, and Oculus is actually VR gear that you can wear to engage with this particular project in the Tipsyverse. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And then I think we already touched on the tokenomics, sure did. And then as far as the roadmap is concerned, so we see that they've been going at this, since November of 2021. And I do like the fact that they've gone ahead and checked off, different parts or aspects of the roadmap. What I find is that, sometimes projects, they've got all this stuff on the roadmap, but you have no idea what they've completed and what they haven't done. So the fact that they are adding this nice, little touch and detail, to the roadmap, I think is helpful, especially when you're looking at projects that have, pretty extensive or ambitious roadmaps as well. So looking here, Q1 of 2022, so we see the Certic audit. So, and I think this is kind of interesting too, that they've got the sand glass that's basically saying, I think, to me is communicating that they're in progress. So I think that's a nice little touch as well. The white paper, 1.0, and the fair launch of Tipsy. So again, that's going to be March 15th. They have not indicated a time for that yet. So once I'm aware of the time, then I'll be able to update the Scout and Vetting report. Passive income begins as of the Tipsy launch, and then we see in Q2 of 2022, we've got voting and governance, the DAO. So a DAO is coming, to this particular project. Staking of Tipsy, so you'll be able to stake the token. And me personally, I love staking. Just being able to go ahead and know that you can go ahead and stake it away, you can grow, what you already have in terms of your native token. I think staking should just simply be a staple for just about any project, but that's just my opinion on that. And we see the sale of over 3,000 paying NFTs on the ETH mainnet, and we see the dApp marketplace and the NFT sale of founders, passes, weapons, wearables, and mounts, and those were associated with the NFTs, and that's going to be Polygon. So if you weren't aware, this is going to be on the Polygon network. So I'm just putting that out there if you were not aware. Q3 of 2022, alpha version of Tipsyverse 1.0, powered by Minecraft. Launch of Gin, the in-game currency for the Tipsyverse, introduction of companion breeding, and the first NFT land sale of 5,000 plots. This is going to be on the ETH mainnet. And then Q4 of 2022, launch of Tipsy Friendship Program. Can't really tell you about that because I'm not really sure myself. Beta launch of Tipsyverse 1.0. And the play to earn mini games are going to be ready. And in 2023, let's see, the sale of remaining NFT land plots and new play to earn mini games. So this to me indicates an expansion of the project, which I think is always a good signal. To know that, hey, even at the end of the roadmap, that they are going to continue to innovate the project. And the pre-alpha version of Tipsyverse 2.0. And obviously, we know that we saw that Unreal Engine 5 earlier, as we took a look this in the beginning. So looking at the team, so it's been a little bit, since I've actually looked at the team page. But before, they didn't have anybody, that was doxed. And so it is nice to see that we do have more doxing taking place in regards, to the team, whether we're talking about the advisors or the founders, so we do, obviously we have here, we're just talking about the advisors, but we do see, some, the names, or at least whatever names they've gotten associated, with them. So some of these names look for real and others look like they're just, names that they just came up with, but Can't speak to that with verification, you know, but again, like I said, so we see some doxing and some not. Now, you know, I have actually spoken with this particular individual, you know, so good guy to talk to. I've also heard them, you know, on AMAs, you know, as well. So they do have a good team. They do communicate, you know, well with their community, and making sure that they're aware of, you know, things that are coming. So, and as you know, when it comes to, you know, any project, you know, the communication aspect of it is extremely, extremely important. It is a very strong signal. Again, I will never give you any guarantees as far as what a project's going to do or how successful it could be. We never know that. But in terms of, you know, signals, you know, for any project, I think either you have more good signals, you know, or, you know, more signals that kind of move you in a direction of, you know, feeling more confident about a project, or signals that, you know, move you in the direction of feeling less confident about a project. And that's just how I tend to operate when it comes to looking at a project. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm not. But in crypto, we never know what things, you know, what's going to happen, because I'll say it, you know, and I've said it before, you can see a lot of good projects, and a project can go ahead and completely be a dud. And you can see hardly anything in a project, and, you know, it can go to the moon. So you just never know. You know, so keep that in mind, you know, which is why analysis is so important. And, you know, again, you know, we do the analysis so that we can try to figure out, you know, what direction should we go into, but it's never really an exact thing for sure. So looking at reviews, you can see that there are a lot of people that have been talking about this particular project. It could be the biggest financial launch of 2022. It is a trailblazer, being the world's first coin with a zero buy tax and only a sell tax. So we see they've mentioned Forbes here, Hacker Noon. They have had some different celebrities, you know, talking about them as well. We see here that Anya is the founder of Land of Hope and human rights activist. And so they even had Paul Abdul, you know, on here as well, talking about them. So we see that they've got a section for videos and media reviews from the press all around the world. Like I said, a lot of people have been talking about this particular project, either doing videos, celebrities talking about them, obviously, you know, some big names in terms of the media talking about them as well. So yeah, there's just, when it comes to this project, there's a lot going on. Okay, and obviously with any of these, you know, you can always go ahead and click on the read more, and it'll take you, you know, to a section where you can get a little bit more information in regards, you know, to this particular project. So they also have a blog here as well. So more information, you know, to read in terms of, you know, what they're doing, even in terms of their giving. You know, they've saved, you know, a bunch of penguins, you know, as well. So there is, you know, some charitable work, you know, also associated with this particular project. So with that said, we've got, you know, our FAQ. We did take a look at that as well. You know, it's pretty standard, you know, FAQ, but a lot of good information here in regards to Tipsycoin and their FAQ and their project. So we are at 428. So I do want to go ahead, and I know I've given you guys a lot of information in regards to this particular project. I just caught on to this. I actually hadn't seen this before. Frequently asked questions, but they have drunk asked questions. So that's pretty interesting. I like that. I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to go ahead and you know, address them at this time. But if you were not aware of Tipsycoin, like I said, it is a pretty big project. It is going to be launching soon, 10 days. I do not have time for the exact moment at launch. They are, you know, definitely keeping that under wraps for now. But, you know, this to me, you know, as far as, you know, my own opinion is concerned, is, you know, a project, you know, that looks, you know, like it's got, you know, some potential, and I see, you know, good signals with it. But that, again, that's just my own personal opinion. I certainly encourage everybody here to go ahead and do their own research, to look into it and see, you know, what they think of it as well, as far as, you know, their own research is concerned. Could you paste Tipsycoin calendar address here? Yes, I can. All righty. There you go. All right. You're welcome. Okay. So, but yeah, really cool project. So now, since we've been here for a half hour, this is actually our Q&A session. So I'm trying to be more mindful of that because, sometimes when I talk about this stuff, it's like wind me up and let me go. But so yeah, we're in our Q&A session. I'm willing to go ahead and, address any questions as far as the Q&A session is concerned. If we don't have any other questions, I'll give it a minute or so. Then I can go ahead and go into another project, if you guys like. So, and then, I just want to make sure everybody knows that because, I'm also in another meeting right after this one, we'll be cutting this meeting just a little, short. So we're not going to go up until, 5 o'clock, but it'll just be right before then. But again, if there's any questions, I'll be more than willing to go ahead and take a look at any questions you have and try to answer them to the best of my ability.
I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
I'm very new to VEDA, so forgive my ignorance.
Hey, well, welcome to VEDA. Welcome to VEDA. We were all new once, so it's okay.
I'm looking forward to the VEDA VPad, as we call it now, launch. What I'm not clear on is, what does the VPad represent? Is it a token? It's what are we going to be buying on the day when it becomes available to buy?
Yeah, it's part of VEDA's ecosystem. So VPad is active, and that's just what we're calling it right now. So I want to provide that disclaimer. That's just what we're calling it for right now. The name is going to change, but yes, that's been kind of helpful in our bots and sniper mitigation efforts. However, VPad is basically just going to be our Launchpad token. So that's what you're going to, should you be someone interested in participating in that particular sale, what you would be acquiring is the Launchpad token.
So it's the token. Okay.
Yes.
No, I think I'm looking forward to the second whitelist because I didn't make the cut for the first, but I just wanted to be clear on what it is that I would be.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, at the end of the day, whether it's the first whitelist, the second whitelist, the early bird, you are still super duper early. So it's not often that people get an opportunity to get in on a Launchpad launch, so early. So yeah. But well, thank you for your question and welcome to VEDA. I mean, I know that when I was new on the platform, between then and now, there's just so much that I've learned, but you're in a good place. So welcome.
I have another question for you, actually.
Sure.
What role, if any, VEDA affiliate play or is required to or expected to play insofar as the VEDA platform is concerned? Now, I've looked at the site. I've noticed that you have scouts. I think I'm at tier 3 at this point, so I'm just trying to know what I'm able to do and what I cannot do. But they're the scouts, they're the VEDAs. What is it that is sort of expected of someone who becomes a member of the VEDA platform?
Okay, so I understand that, obviously, VPad is not the same as VEDA, but they do complement, each other. So if you're already, tier 3, it doesn't change anything for you, necessarily. My understanding is that, as VPad, grows, price grows, obviously that's going to help anybody that that owns VEDA token, because you're going to you would actually benefit by being a holder of VEDA, and then also getting involved with the Launchpad token. Now, I do not profess to understand all the details in regards to the connection between the two and the benefits. And even I've tried to go and wrap my head around if you're tier 3 or you're tier 4, and all of the different ways that you multiply your what you're able to basically earn or get a piece of the pie of in terms of just all the other things associated with the Launchpad. So even I'm still working through that, and understanding it more so that, when I do have to talk about it, that I can speak from a place of really, knowing all the details of it. But I always, on these calls, I certainly, reach out, to those that are also on the platform that may have, better understanding and can provide additional details to maybe fill in some of the blanks, where I may not be able to. But I can tell you that you definitely benefit, is my understanding, by being a holder, of VEDR in connection, to the Launchpad.
Okay. Okay.
So I can't tell you that there's any expectations per se, because I paid attention to that verbiage, but there's no real expectations for you in terms of, just from a general standpoint, in terms of, holding VEDR.
Yeah, that's basically what my concern was. I know there's a difference between the launch pad. In fact, I just thought about the VEDR having its launch pad is indeed, tremendous news. No, I was just thinking in terms of, okay, so I own VEDR, I'm on part of the ecosystem. You have VEDRs, you have scouts. Could I just be comfortable with my tokens and look at the calendar and go for what I feel like I want to do, or buy or be a part of, or that basically is what I was thinking of. Do I have those options?
Dan, he was asking about, hey, it's JP. Hey, he was
JP.
asking about how to use the calendar, either as an investor or if he wants to become a scout or VEDR. He's wanting to see how to use the VEDR dApp.
Is that more or less what you're asking? So thank you for JP, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Is that more or less what you're asking, sir?
Not exactly, because I watched some of the videos and attended a couple of the discussions, and getting to understand the way that the calendar works is not a huge issue for me. It's a very simple thought I have. That is, do I have to just utilize the what is available to me if I do not want to become a VEDR, or I don't want to become a scout, just to be a whole of it and benefit from the platform?
Yeah.
Is there that basically is what I was getting at?
I think I understand, and let me know if I am misunderstanding, but it sounds like you just want to know, is there anything different that you have to do other than just hold your token and continue to engage with the platform the way that you have been?
Got it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you don't have to do anything different. You don't. Not at all. If you're already at a tier 3 and you are satisfied with that, the Launchpad, launch is not going to change anything for you in terms of your activities. So you can continue to go ahead and scout, you can continue to go ahead and vote if those are activities that you've been engaging with already.
Now that is what I don't know about the voting. The voting. That's the part I if you could just elaborate on just a little bit, what is involved in voting.
You know what, as far as voting is concerned, as projects are put up, on the calendar and they launch, then you have an opportunity to and again, they have to, either the scout goes ahead and launches it, and we'll just take that scenario. The scout launches it, then it becomes available to everyone else on the platform to vote on that particular project. So you vote on the project, whether, let's say that you found the information useful, or, whether you got into that project and you found it to be profitable. You can vote, on the project. You can go ahead and tip the scout additional VEDR as well, if you actually saw some gains, from that project.
Yeah, I saw that. That's very good. Yeah, thank you very much for the question. I have more, but I'll wait for another day and time. Let someone else who may have a question go ahead.
Not a problem. Hey, David, I see that you're on, man. What's your question, brother?
Yeah, I just wanted to know something about the VPad launch. So launching on VPad, it's going to be pretty much, I got the whitelist one, which is what I made. Then they got the second whitelist coming out. So the first whitelist, could you run through me real quick how I got in? I got to join the meeting late. I was doing something. Could you run to me how it works? Like, does the whitelist, the first whitelist get 5 minutes, the next one gets 10, and the rest of it's open to the public? You know, how much BNB are we starting with? Just stuff like that, man.
So I've heard this information, but I don't want to go ahead and say that it's set in stone yet, if that makes sense. Just because I think the best source for that information is really when the owner, Mike, puts it out there. So I've heard a certain allocation of minutes, but I don't want to go ahead and put that information out there on the call, just because I'm not even sure that as we get to the launch, if that information is going to stay, where it currently is, or if there's going to be any kind of adjustments. But I will just say generally that my understanding right now is that there'll be a certain amount of minutes, based on what I believe I heard already, in regards to those whitelists.
Okay, and about the guaranteed allocation, I put in 11,000 vetter. I have 100,000 here, but I have 11,000 on the wallet that I sent y'all. How much guaranteed allocation would I get from 11,000?
So, okay, so when we're talking about guaranteed allocations, my understanding that I can speak to right now, and I would certainly invite any of my other veterans on the call or scouts on the call to chime in, but I thought that was just for like your diamond tiers, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So, and the least amount, in terms of the diamond tiers was 1 million.
Ooh, okay.
For the guaranteed allocation.
So that bare minimum I was talking about, that was just to be eligible for the whitelist. Maybe.
Okay. Like I said, I don't want to put information out there that's inaccurate. So I'm just trying. I'm processing what you're saying, and I'm just trying to be measured in terms of what I'm articulating.
Hey Dan.
Yes.
It's JP. David, are you asking how much you can contribute on the whitelist?
How much is my guaranteed allocation? And yeah, can you answer that for me too, please?
Yeah, so if you signed up for the whitelist, you put how much you wanted to contribute. The max was up to 3 BNB. So that's the max contribution for whitelist 1. And then your allocation, I think, comes out when you start staking, and it starts out at a certain amount. I thought it was, don't quote me, but I think it's 100,000. It's on the slide somewhere on the presentation, but all those allocations happen after VPad launches.
Thank you, JP.
Okay, so so the max contribution is 3. First whitelist gets to go first. Okay. Now just a quick question. I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but is this going to be an event where if you're sitting on your phone watching the clock count down and you're ready to press the button as soon as it goes live, you'll get in, or is it one of these things that'll fill out in like 5 seconds?
Well, it's always hard to know. You're talking about the launch, right?
Yeah. It's about
okay. So look, let's say that we're talking about, the veteran launch. I mean, and that launch was just, there was a lot of hype, a lot of buy pressure, and trying to get in. I know for me personally, it failed like 3 times, when I tried to go ahead and get in.
Not the token launch, the pre-sale.
For the pre-sale, the pre-sales are always, from my own personal opinion, when it comes to explaining pre-sales just don't have all that. They're just more relaxed. So you don't have, this basically small, window or doorway that everybody's trying to get through, like you do at a launch.
Yeah, that's true. I know what you mean.
So yeah, private sale and pre-sales, they're just way more relaxed because you just don't have all that going on. But the launch is where it gets just kind of, it's fast and furious. Who can get in the fastest? Because obviously, getting in the fastest gets the lowest, the lowest price typically, if you're early, but then again, you try to go ahead and get in and at launch and it spikes up. Some people go ahead and buy at the top because they've tried to get in, but there's just so much buying pressure to get in. So, but yeah, if you're just talking about the pre-sales are just much more relaxed.
Yeah, man. That's why it's good for the pre-salers, but it's hell on earth if you're trying to get on the fair launch, because this project has a lot of hype.
Yes, it does. There's hype, and you know, from my own personal opinion, I believe that there will be, you know, a buy pressure, you know, for sure going into this particular launch. But that's why, again, you know, Mike has talked about how private sale, pre-sale, I mean, it's just the lowest price possible, and it just doesn't come with, it's not the same buying experience as it would be at the actual launch.
All right, man.
Okay, absolutely. All right, guys, we're at 4:45. I can take one more question, and then we are going to close up for today's call. But if there are no other questions, I want to tell you, as always, that it is always a pleasure hanging out with you guys and talking about crypto. Love it. And you know, I appreciate everybody's time and just their engagement, you know, with the daily call. So again, I'm LDN 100X on the calendar and in the Discord, and it's been great. So you guys enjoy your day. Have a fantastic Saturday, and we'll see you back on Monday.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks,
All
Dan.
right.
Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, guys, we'll see you later.